Welcome to episode 205 of, 205 of Saturday Football Uncensored, brought to you by Saturday Down South and Texas Pete. On today's episode, we recap week 8 in college football. You can find the show on the website, SaturdayDownSouth.com and Apple and Spotify. Don't forget to join us for the live recording of the show, just like some of you are filling in now, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, every Sunday night on the Saturday Down South YouTube page. Go share with your friends. We would enjoy that. And now here's the show. Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Saturday Football Uncensored, brought to you by Saturday Down South and Texas Pete. I'm your host, Tyler Huck. And with me now, ladies and gentlemen, he's cracking his knuckles, he's laughing, he's pouring himself a bottle of bourbon.
Just maniacally.
He's drinking straight from the bottle. It's Chris
laughing
Marler.
Maniacally. I've waited 365 days for this.
And we are here.
We're here. So we're going to start
Sunday in October.
The third Sunday in October. One that was filled with a lot of sadness last year.
Yep.
Now here's the deal. I want to start by saying this. We're starting with this game. We're starting with me going off on an absolute. I'm going to go off the rails. So I'm telling all of you that right now.
Okay.
So be warned. I know we have Tennessee fans listening to the show. I know not all of you guys are people that are going to deserve this ire and this anger and this outburst. There's plenty of you that I love. Ash Williams, love you to death, boo. There's several of you. Travis May, Kurt McPhee. There's plenty that I can't even name. But here's the thing. Yesterday played out in such a beautifully perfect way that today I cannot stop enjoying it. There's no 24-hour rule. I cannot stop enjoying it. Because
was there ever a time in the game where you were getting a little nervous?
The whole first half.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's the thing. We'll start with this. Bama comes out, and like I was thinking about this too. It was like there weren't that many things looking back on it that made me feel super confident. One, that Bama would ever be able to hang with him if it became a track meet. Like I did not see that happening. Luckily, I didn't really get to that. But like one thing I was very confident in was that Joe Milton was never going to beat Alabama, and then Joe Milton comes out on fire. He was great. He was great the entire first quarter, most of the first half, and it was really impressive. And Tennessee did things like really, really well. They executed really, really well. They played defense really, really well. Bama's on offense looked just like, just at times, I just don't know what Tommy Rees is doing, right? I just don't know what Tommy Rees is doing. The defense, he put so much on that defense, just so much on that defense. But
they made the stop when they had to, no touchdowns. They were just giving up field goals, which was what kept them, within shot.
Right. And that first touchdown they had to score white was an incredible pass and catch. It was like just incredible. But my thing that I kept coming back to was like, you don't want to like you just got to make halftime adjustments. It looked bad. Because I didn't understand what Bama's defense was going to be able to do or what Bama's offense was going to be able to do to make up the 13 points. I thought in my mind that you had to score on the first drive, which they did, and you have to come out and get a turnover. Now, let's start by doing this. And then we do this for every team we talk about. Tennessee, hell of a game. Came out on fire. Joe Milton played arguably his best game outside of the Orange Bowl of his career in Knoxville. I thought that was really impressive. The defense held tight a lot. For the most part, like they played really, really well. They executed a lot on third down. I thought they were really good. In that capacity.
Yeah. And on the ground, he was really good too.
Yeah, they finally brought that component, which I thought was really good. Both quarterbacks, really, when you talk about that. So there was a lot of positives, I think, from Tennessee. Now, here's the other part of it. And like Bama comes out in the second half, and you make good teams, elite teams, good coaches, elite coaches, you make halftime adjustments. It is something that has escaped Alabama for a couple of years now. Pete Golding, just refused to make halftime adjustments even last year in this game. It's one of the reasons why one guy had 5 touchdown catches. But they made some halftime adjustments against A&M, against Ole Miss, against Tennessee. It seems to be a recurring theme with this coaching staff and with this team this year. And I tell you what, I compared this Alabama team is a lot like anal, okay? And this is why. It's uncomfortable and miserable for at least one person, and only one side seems to be having fun for a majority of it. Okay? Can we agree on that? It's a bit much. I didn't tweet it. I said it on here. It's College Football Saturday Football Uncensored, so I'm allowed to say it. But yes, this Alabama team is a lot like doing it in the butt. So anyway, that being said, now you talk about going into the second half of this game. And it's like, well, how are you going to come back from this game? You got to score and you got to get stops. And that's what Bama did. Now, I've given my props to Tennessee. Now let's talk about what won that game. You got beat 20-0 in the refs. We'll get to that in a second. You got beat 27-0 in the second half. 27-0. Okay. They spotted you a 20-7 lead. They spotted you a 20-7 lead at the half. The largest deficit at halftime Alabama has faced since the 2018 or in the second half since the 2018 college football playoff, or I'm sorry, the SEC championship game against Georgia. It's the largest at home deficit they've had and overcome since 1998. So it does feel like 98. It's been 25 years. Oh God. Sorry, I already got in trouble for the anal joke. That's bad. But
that's always good.
Sorry, babe. Anyway, they came out, they made adjustments at halftime. And then here's the thing. I thought that the strength of this team was the resiliency and then like the competitive like character, especially on the defense. And really you can say the offense too. Because you came out there and you had to make adjustments, and they did. And now all of those things are positives. Now you tell me what you've heard from social media from one side in particular about why Bama won this game.
I've already mentioned it, Chris. It was the referees, the men in stripes, the zebras.
They gave it to him.
Yeah.
I was told to sit still.
Damn, you're just getting live
critique. I know. I have a dance mom for a girlfriend right now, so there's that. So here's the thing. It wasn't the refs. Now I want to start by saying this. Bama had one penalty for 5 yards. There's so much of me that wants to just be like, yeah, that's probably all they should have got called for. But I know that one of my biggest things is that I hate when people tell me that I'm wrong about something when I know I'm right. So Tennessee fans, I'll tell you this. Bama should have had more than one flag. Absolutely should have been called for more than one flag. So there you go. You know what you should have done? You should have put your foot on someone's fucking throat when you're up 20-7 on the road for a chance to beat your biggest rival, because this is your biggest rival. Make no mistake about it. Instead of pissing down your leg on national television and getting beat 27-0 in the second half. You should have done that. And while we're on the subject, this whole penalty thing, Josh Heupel teams. Here's a fun fact for you. I just tweeted it out. Josh Heupel teams, as a head coach in 6 years, here's where his team's ranked in their conference for penalties per game. Okay, when he's at UCF, 2018, 9th out of 12. The following year, 9th out of 11. 2020 at UCF, 11th out of 11. 2021 at Tennessee, 9th out of 14. 2022 at Tennessee, 14th out of 14. And this year, 14th out of 14. You can sit here and tell me all you want about how Bama should have got called for this. It didn't make up for 14 points. The bottom line is you got your ass kicked in the second half. And here's the other thing, too, that we've seen from one of these teams in particular. I saw Alabama go to Knoxville last year and get down 28-10. 28-10. They had missed calls on everything you could possibly think of. A fucking helmet to the face mask on Bryce Young, who is just coming off of injury and was the Heisman Trophy winner the year before. Not getting that call is asinine to me. You come into that game when you're the most penalized team in the SEC, and somehow you have 11 less flags than Alabama. Bama gets 17 penalties for 130 yards, most of them in the most critical moments possible. 4th and 5 pass interference with when you're down 7 late in the game. It was an interception for Bama. That's not this. And you know what that Bama team didn't do? Roll over and fucking die. And that's exactly what Tennessee and their fan base continues to do when they're put in this situation. Last year at Georgia, you got your ass beat for most of the game. Oh, well, if it wouldn't have rained, we would have done this. We need to have a rematch when indoors. How many times do you have to move the fucking goalpost for you guys to be good enough to win a game? You haven't turned the corner. You haven't turned the corner. And you sat there for 365 days and told everyone what was going to happen in this game. Everyone. And you got a 20-7 lead, and you pissed down your leg, and your stupid fucking quarterback turned around to the student section, did the crane kick, talked as much shit as he could for the first 30 minutes. And then when it's time to go win a fucking ball game, what'd you do? You pissed down your fucking leg. And I loved every second of it. I loved every fucking second of it. It was hilarious. And it's hilarious today. This is the venomous little pettiness coming out of me. You call me Petty LaBelle, Petty Wop, whatever you want to say. This entire bullshit today of Tennessee fans clamoring and begging for people to be like, see, we should have had so many more calls. Bama gets all the calls. No one feels sorry for you. No one feels sorry for you. You're the most insufferable fan base on the face of the fucking planet. It is outrageous that you would even go onto social media and ask anyone to feel sorry for you, because you didn't have it last year. Last year, you made a commemorative book. You made a commemorative book after game 8 when you beat Alabama for the entire season. Do you think anyone in this conference or this country feels bad for Tennessee fans? No. You got what you deserved, and it happened on national television, and it was fucking hilarious. And my last thing to you, Tyler, my absolute last thing I will say to you is this. Someone explain to me what the benefits are of Alabama getting all the calls. Is this some likable fucking like football program that everyone around the country's pulling for? Is this some likable state that's always been on the right side of history that everyone's always pulling for? Why in the world do we think that Alabama is the team that's going to get all the calls? Get the fuck out of here.
Should we do some voicemails?
They're all from me.
There's a bunch to choose from. Here, we'll start with a short one.
All right.
James Spivey here. Daphne, Alabama, big Alabama fan. Fuck Tennessee.
That was it.
Tyler, Chris, long-time listener, occasional caller, Bama fan here. As I always say, best college football podcast out there. What a win, guys. Roll Tide. Wasn't looking good at halftime. And I tell you, I could not be happier. I can't get the smile off my face. But don't worry, Vol fans. You know, hey, maybe you can make another coffee table commemorative book about how you had a 20-7 lead at halftime before we scored 27 unanswered on your bitch asses. Or you could make a commemorative coffee table book about how you won 1 out of the last 17 games against the Tide. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
I love that. It started out so calm, and then the venom just came out. Couldn't help it.
I think that like I think everyone expects it out of somebody like me that's like gonna overreact. But I think yesterday is like a pretty good example of like Bama fans were fucking tired of hearing it. We were tired of hearing it. And it felt, Tyler, it felt real good. It felt real good.
Well, we got more calls today. People are still celebrating.
Okay, I'm gonna sit still.
Marler, T Huck, it's your boy Dollar Bill, just calling with some reaction. What a great football, specifically the Tide. Slow start, but we ended up stomping the guys, winning it, running away. Streaky rivalry, so probably going to win 10 more in a row. But I got some reaction to Josh Heupel. I've been hearing Heupel and these Tennessee fans are wanting to blame the referees. 8 penalties for 55 yards. It cost them the game, is what they're claiming. My take is Josh Heupel already sounds like he takes the short bus to work, and now he's acting like it, because I remember getting beat by a last-second field goal with 17 penalties called against the Tide last year. So Heupel's repping the school well. Take the short bus to that special school they got up there in Knoxville.
Goodness.
And we're just going to leave this one right here, fellas. Y'all have a great day. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Oh,
Hey, here's
man.
a good point though, Tyler. We didn't talk about this. How about this? How about the forearm to the fucking head of Roydell
Oh
Williams
yeah, that was pretty crazy.
in front of the ref, and nothing was said?
Yeah,
What?
that was like he clearly was trying to punch the ball out, but he just Also,
But it's
clearly,
already down. Like,
Yeah.
you're right. I'm shocked we didn't get that. Anyway, what else we got? We got another one?
we've got many more. Maybe we'll just do one more. Many more Bama ones, but I don't know if we'll have time for all of them. We'll see. Here, Bama Bo.
What's up, guys? It's Bama Bo here. Just sitting here watching about 4 different games, but obviously the Bama game, 34-20 right now. Boy, you know what? Tennessee didn't realize they had to tee off that fucking football today against Alabama. Come on, baby. Hey, I got one thing, though, for you guys real quick. What the hell is Kool-Aid doing on these punts, man?
Dude.
What's he just looking at it and running away from it? I don't understand. They've been freaking out over here on the guys. They put it all the way down to 1 now. I just don't understand what's going on. What's going on with that? I mean, do we need somebody else out there? Do we need Brooks catching this ball? What's going on?
Hey guys, it's your boy Logan. Also, first half, I hope I never see anything like that again in my life. We're over here sweating bullets on a fall evening, and expecting to come in here. Everybody's like, revenge game. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm here for it. Well, that first half was the furthest thing I've ever seen, but I may have had my doubts. The second half came around. I couldn't be more proud of the guys, except for Kool-Aid. I'm kind of frustrated. I understand you messing up one time, but when you do it again, it's just unexplainable to do that. I hope Saban goes all the way into his ass, takes away the Hellcat piece, and everything in between. Anyway, enjoy the pod. Hope to hear it. Hope your blood pressure's not too high watching the game right now, Chris. Talk to y'all later.
I bruised my tits. I bruised my tits yesterday from doing this. After one of the 4th down stops, I was like, oh my God. It was awful.
Dude, that's totally my move too. I'm just the 1 pound. I just slam my chest when something happens. I also love 2 things I love about that call. The fact that Bama Bo and Logan always are together when they call us.
I love that.
Love that. Also love just the pure joy, but we're not going to leave out that Kool-Aid McKinstry is really pissing us off on punt return.
Dude, what was he doing back there? At one point, he late in the game, he came out and was like, I was like, okay, well, I mean, just catch it at the 25-yard line. And he just rolls down to the 1. Anyway.
All right. Do we want to get to some other games, or do we want to play some more voicemails?
We can play maybe some more voicemails at the end. Are there any good ones, or are they way too long?
Some of them were too long. Like some of them were like 3 minutes long. So guys, remember when you call, a 3-minute one's probably not going to make the show just because it's
but I'll listen to it and put myself to
sleep. We listen to all of them, so don't feel about that.
Let me also, I just want to say this before we go to the next game. Okay. One of the other things we didn't talk about in this game is that the hypo going for a 4th down on 3 times and not getting it. Another huge reason why you didn't make it or you didn't win that game. Now, I know that it was difficult for Tennessee fans to hear that. I want to reiterate that I don't care. I don't care. I don't feel sorry for anything I just said at all. You are not going to come here and find any fucking remorse for me for anything I said, any empathy, any sympathy. I would say both those. I'm not really sure what the difference is between them. I'll have to Google it later. But that being said, we still love you. And Bama fans, I appreciate you guys. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that win as much as I did. Because listen, I don't care if some idiot on Twitter says something like, oh, so Tennessee was your Super Bowl. It kind of was this year. I wanted this one more than anyone. So There you go. Now, where should we go next? Should we go to USC next?
Oh, you want to go to USC?
I kind of do.
Okay, let's go to USC.
Let's do it. Did you watch this game?
I watched parts of it. So I was at a Halloween get together in my old neighborhood, and we had the quad box going on.
Okay.
But of course, the sound was typically on the Florida State game. So I caught glimpses. But no, you'll probably have to fill me in a little bit.
The last 2 minutes took 3.5 hours.
Okay.
It took like legit 30 minutes.
I'm so right off the rip, I'm shocked that, well, I guess I shouldn't say shocked, but how you let Utah, who has an inept offense, score 34 points, be in the 92nd percentile in success rate, 90th percentile in yards per play. Just, I mean, the USC defense is setting
It's so bad. Setting
a new bar every week.
Yeah. This game was 6. Oh, by the way, we should get this out of the way now. Do you know what I was for my picks yesterday?
No.
4-9.
Oh, the streak is in.
31%.
No.
Pretty bad.
You're going to be firmly atop that, Peter, this week. I have real faith.
Yeah. No, so this is one of the picks I had on there, because if you look at this game, USC was a 6.5 point favorite. It was like a pick 'em in the first quarter and like 3.5 or 3 points in the first half. Now, I thought like this is a game where, like, I remember bringing it up on the podcast, like they're like 19-2 in games under Lincoln Riley's. His teams are 19-2 in the regular season. In games following I'm sorry, they were 39-2 or something like that. Like in games for the rest of the regular season after following a loss. They lost to Utah last year. It's kind of what like helped them turn the corner, and they got into it and started putting up like 40, 50 points a game, it seemed like. So you're coming off like a pretty heartbreaking loss where you looked inept and you go to Notre Dame and like you can't afford to lose another game, right? And you have Utah coming to town and you get them at home, which has to count for something if you're trying to bring USC back. I understand the Coliseum is not like Death Valley or anything like that, but it is the Coliseum, and there is a lot of lore there, and there's still 85,000 people that are going to sit there and watch this new team, which is supposed to be, like, by all means, kind of like a super team of what you're talking about with getting kids out of the portal, and then Caleb Williams and Lincoln Riley, and like you have all the reasons and things in place and resources to succeed, and you bring Utah in with a third string walk-on fucking pig farmer quarterback. What kind of fucking Friday Night Lights type of shit is that? Pig farmer quarterback?
Yeah. You're speaking of Barnes.
Yeah.
It just unbelievable. 34 points to Utah with their third string QB. By the way, this was a theme this weekend. Arkansas lost to Mississippi State's backup quarterback. Clemson lost to Miami's backup quarterback. Just unfathomable. But this game, I mean, Utah just I picked Utah to cover. I certainly didn't pick them to win.
Right.
But every year this happens. Like everyone's like, oh no, I mean, it's Utah's got a good defense, but this isn't a good matchup for them. And they own USC.
They own them. They've beaten them 3 times in a row.
Yep. They've all been close games, but Utah's pulled all of them out.
Well, that one in the Pac-12 championship wasn't.
Was it not? I can't
remember. I mean, here's the thing. Caleb Williams, I guess what's sad for me is that we've just seen USC's defense find new ways to blow it, where it's like Josh Pate said this going into the game, and he made the point, and it was a good point. He said, like, Utah is not anybody's get-right game. They're just not.
Right.
And Utah is too well coached for that, and, like, you know, I almost feel bad for Caleb Williams, but I don't, because it just kind of speaks to this typical fucking West Coast arrogancy of like, or arrogance of like, well, you know, we're going to come in here, we're going to roll through it. Bill Plaschke got fucking cold takes exposed or old takes exposed today. Yeah. How they should just sweep through. And we said it on this podcast before the season. Who's mad in the things? Sybil Edmondson's mad. So, like we saw it in the things. Like, or said in the preseason pods that like we thought USC might be like the third best team in the Pac-12 because they only play one type of football, and that's offensive football. And you saw this last night where like when Caleb Williams is struggling, and you can't just go, you're not going to throw over 400 yards and 4 touchdowns every game. You're just not. And especially in a year like this where the Pac-12 is really deep, this is the buzzsaw that you ran into, but this is also the buzzsaw you should have seen coming. Like, this isn't like, oh, they jumped up and bit us. Like, it's not like the Oregon State game last year where it's like, well, you know, we went on the road to Corvallis and had to force 4 turnovers, and it was a foggy and weird late night type game. Like, this is the one you should have had circled. Like, this is like coming on after a loss to the team that ruined your national championship hopes twice last year, and you do this? It's pathetic.
Yeah, I mean, no touchdowns through the air for Caleb Williams, only 256 yards passing. He did score one on the ground, but I mean, Lincoln Riley's got a lot to figure out when Caleb turns pro after this year.
Yeah.
I know they've got another like superstar five-star kid that'll probably be unbelievable, but the defense has got to get fixed, or no one's going to take USC seriously. I mean, it's just they're still in the polls somehow.
Have you seen the rumors, by the way?
No, Groomers. Is Gruden going to be?
No. Have you heard the rumors about what Lincoln Riley might do?
No.
They're talking about like there's rumors that he might go with Caleb Williams. It's like a joint package.
The NFL.
Yeah. Now I will say this too. I'm not going to try to pile on Caleb Williams because I know that as a competitor, he's got to be just devastated because he's out. Like they're not going to win anything now. He's not going to win the Heisman most likely. He might not even get invited. So I hate that for him. Like I really do. I hate that for him. That's a tough way to go out. That being said, like what a bad week. What a bad week for Caleb Williams to go in, talk about like how he wants a stake into some team's, ownership,
like equity. Yeah.
Then lose this game. And then did you see Emmanuel Acho?
I try not to see much of what he does, but
I swear to God, dude, Fox Sports has just become like if they let Feinbaum callers have a show in fucking 8-piece suits. And I don't care how that sounds. This is exactly how I feel. Like like he said something about how I was like, well, with no Heisman Trophy, with no chance of winning a national title, should Caleb Williams sit the rest of the year? And it was like, yeah, you know what? That's the best way to go prove that you deserve a stake in someone's company or someone's like ownership is by quitting on your own team.
Also got a shout out. A lot gets talked about with Travis Hunter playing both ways. There's this kid on Utah, Sione Vaki. He's their starting strong safety, and in this game, he caught 2 touchdown passes, accounted for 217 total yards on offense.
It's awesome.
That's pretty cool. So Utah with another big win. Seems like that's all they do, and a big game next week in Utah. Oregon comes to town.
Yeah.
Early line on that. Your favorite? -5.5 for Oregon.
Oregon's favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, USC I believe is 25th in the polls now.
Yeah, they're 24th, something like that. Where do you want to go next? Now there's a ton of good games, and you guys, now that I've calmed down, and I've been told via text from my dance mom girlfriend that I've calmed down, you guys can tell us where you want to go. This turned out we're not going to touch this.
The only thing I want to say from the Michigan State game is the fact that Michigan State, the Hitler thing, unreal.
I don't mean to laugh, but like, what are you doing? Does everyone know what we're talking
about? Yeah. So if you don't know what we're talking about, apparently they put on like it was like between plays or halves or something
before the game.
They had something on the big screen that was like, it was during the game, like a trivia question.
Yeah.
And I guess one of the answers, like I don't know.
I'll get you. Hold on.
Okay.
It was 80 minutes before the game started, and it was like, remember when you were little and you go to AMC theaters and AMC would be like, "Hey, here's some movie themed trivia."
Yeah.
I know that because I remember one thing that I bring up all the time. I bring it up like every time I get a chance to. Remember the movie Hook?
Yeah.
Did you know that in the movie Hook, the overcoat that Dustin Hoffman wore as Hook was so heavy it weighed 80 pounds? They had to, and it was so hot, they had to install an air conditioning unit inside of it so he would not get overheated and exhausted. Fun fact. Wow. So, in that kind of theme of movie trivia, Michigan State decided to outsource like a third-party trivia company to post random facts. Now, I would have kept it to sports. You know what? Let me go a step further. And then just deduce it down to as little as possible. You know what I wouldn't have done, Tyler? I would have made sure it was everything but Hitler trivia. That's what I would have done. It would have been everything but. We could have called it that. Everything but Hitler trivia this Saturday night at East Lansing.
We certainly do hate Hitler.
We hate Hitler. I'll tell you what. Like, hot take, not fans of Hitler. Pretty big bag of shit.
Yeah.
So Hitler comes in. I mean, Michigan State comes in and posts this stupid thing, and it says, what country was Hitler born in? And they show this picture, and he's like. Also, the best part was the screenshot of it, like, because under it they have like one of those like video rap boards. It's like advertising, and it's like, we never drop the ball, and whatever they're, and then it's like above, it's just Hitler looking out into the world he's trying to own. It was outrageous, and then the answer was Austria. I got it right, just so you know.
Yeah.
Then they got their ass beat like 52-1.
Yeah, Michigan, real good.
Yeah.
You know what? Why don't we go down to Tallahassee real fast?
Oh God, why?
First of all, shout out to Riley Leonard for actually playing the game.
Yeah, that's true.
I've heard some talk that the reason why Duke ended up losing late was because he got injured. He was really ineffective pretty much all night. They shouldn't have played him. Now we saw what his back. We saw his backup was not great.
Redshirt freshman.
So maybe that's why.
Pretty nightmare.
They were killing Florida State on the ground in the first half, and I just got to give a shout out to Elko, man. He's like, clearly Duke doesn't have like a ton of talent outside of their quarterback, who people are saying could be a first round pick, mainly because of his legs, which he wasn't able to utilize last night, which was good for Florida State. But man, they're really well coached on defense and offense. But I think, you know, they came out and they threw a strong first punch, and Florida State continues to play first halves a little. I don't know. They rotate a lot, but it's because in the second half they're always a lot more fresh than their opponent, and their second half numbers, especially on defense this year, have been incredible. You know, if you go back, I actually put this out on Twitter today, but if you go back, the only points that LSU scored in the second half was that garbage time touchdown against, you know, the third string. The outlier is BC. They scored 12 points in the second half, but for the last 4 weeks, the only touchdown that's been scored against Florida State in the second half, or the only point, was Clemson. They scored 1 touchdown in the third quarter of that game. So Florida State seems like they're rounded into form. They've got 2 what I would consider layups over the next 2 weeks, and then you got Miami at home, who is a good team. Like I like to laugh at them, but let's be honest, they pretty much won that Georgia Tech game outside of being dumb. And they were in that UNC game into the second half, which we got to talk about UNC too. But
they got beat by Virginia.
Just good for Virginia, man. After all they've been through with the shooting and all that, like, that's good. But hopefully Riley Leonard, like, Duke's certainly not out of the ACC hunt. That was only their first ACC loss. And if Leonard is healthy the rest of the way, I mean, we could rematch them in the ACC championship game. But yeah, Florida State runs away in the second half. Jordan Travis was really good last night. And they won by 18, so they covered. Good teams win, great teams cover.
Yes.
What we do, baby.
Yeah, cool. Anyway, let's talk about a real game now. You ready?
Yeah, this game was fucking electric.
Okay, so I'm gonna start right there. I'm gonna stop right there. I'm so over. Like, I get so.
Should we go to Iowa, fucking Minnesota next?
We can. That game was shit. That game was awful. I thought it was in danger of giving up or cover. They still didn't cut. They weren't even close to the over. 12-10.
Dude, I picked the game 13-10 Iowa.
Yeah, you did. That ended in the most Iowa way possible. It was here. We have it here. Like, very briefly, and we need to like talk about games. Okay. Iowa and Minnesota. This is like a big deal. Did you see PJ Fleck making all of us feel old when they came in like the post game interview, and he was like, it was like, yeah, you know, that you guys haven't beaten Iowa in Kinnick Stadium since 1999. He just looked at me and goes, I graduated high school in 1999. And it was like, that was it. He just like walked off. Like, so this game was shit for the most of the game. And then Iowa scored on a punt return for a touchdown to basically win the game. Jesus. They just hold on. Iowa scored a touchdown. The kid's like running to go field the catch, and he's like, or punt, and he's like pointing, and he's going like this, like get away.
Yeah.
And Kirk Ferentz even said after the game, he goes, they said before the game, over your head is a fair catch. And he's running, clearly going like this.
Yeah.
And he catches it, has an incredible punt return for a touchdown. Like, you're talking about something that is like would have made the annals of like lore for this game forever. And then they just took it away. My favorite part about this game, by the way, Tyler, is the fact that during the game, one of our good listeners and my good friends, Robert St. Jean, was there. He's a big Bama fan. And he was there with his some friends. And Bama was down. He got so drunk. He filmed himself doing the Iowa Children's Hospital wave, and then just fucking dipped out. Went to a bar to go catch the Bama game. All right, let's get to some actual good games, okay? Let's start here.
All right, Ohio State, Penn State.
Let's stop confusing low-scoring games with bad games. I did not think this was a bad football game.
Okay.
Now,
What'd you like about it?
The colors are pretty.
Now, the defenses are really good, obviously.
Yes, and that's something people don't talk about. Thank you. Go ahead.
I think obviously the big difference is, like, when you look at Penn State's offense, they don't have guys like Marvin Harrison Jr. that just completely change the game at the drop of a hat. They can go 11 catches, 162 yards and a touchdown. Like, can you name a receiver on Penn State?
No.
They just don't have it. Like, and when you're playing against really good defenses like this, and they're going to face another one in Michigan here pretty soon. Like, who's going to step up on your offense and actually make plays? And like, Penn State just doesn't have that. And that's the two differences between these two teams, because Penn State's defense is really good, and so is Ohio State's. And I still think Ohio State's not going to be good enough on offense to beat Michigan, but
really,
yeah,
I do.
You do?
I do. I think that Michigan is really good. I think Michigan's really good. I think Ohio State is really good.
Yeah.
I think watching
with
game,
Maserati Marv.
Maserati. Dude, we used to have this kid that I worked with at Houston's named Cam Lyon, and he would come in, and he was always just like skittled out. So he would come in and be like just fucking flying. Just like, hey guys, what's up? Yeah, like, how you doing, Cam? Yeah, never better. Like, just like always on one. And he would his buddy would rent out his car, like an Airbnb type thing, but for cars.
Yeah.
It was like a
Turo.
Yeah. Okay. So he had a Maserati, and I'll never forget. So Cam would get up in the morning and film himself, like driving this thing, and it'd be like him driving, and it's like just the dashboard, and then like the Maserati thing. And he'd be like, "Yeah, man, it's a Maserati. Dude, you ever seen a Maserati?" I'm like, "I see it on your Snapchat every day." And I'll never forget that one day he comes in and he's like, "Hey, if anybody needs to give up any shifts or whatever, just let me know. I need to pick up a bunch of shifts." I was like, "Why, Cam? Like, what happened? Is he going on a trip?" And he's like, "I wrecked my friend's car." I was like, is it because you were fucking filming the dashboard while you were driving? Anyway, I thought this game was a lot better than people think, because Penn State, the offense is lacking. You're right. And I thought the quarterback play could have been better. But these are also two very elite defenses. And I thought my two biggest takeaways from this was that I hate it for James Franklin to an extent, because James Franklin cannot get over the hump. He's now 1-9 all time at Penn State against Ohio State. Now, he's had some heartbreakers, right? But he's 1-9. 0-5 in Columbus. And at some point, if you're going to win the Big Ten, you got to break through and win. That's one thing that I think that, sometimes we used to, dog Les Miles, or I'm trying to think if there's a third team. Even somewhat with Georgia before they broke through. It's like, oh, yeah, you guys are always just there, but you can't ever win the big one. It's like, well, they can't win the big one because the team that's beating them is the most dominant team in college football history over this 10-year stretch. Ohio State is one of the most dominant programs in the country, and they have been for 20 years, and especially over the last 10 years. I told you the numbers when they were playing at home. It's 39-2 since 2019 under Ryan Day, or 27-2, and they were winning those games by an average of like 23 points per game. Like, it's not an easy place to play. So I thought that both defenses played really, really, really well. I thought the offenses did, they did what they could at times. But that's one thing I think about, like, Ohio State, is we just have this built-in stigma of them, like, well, Ohio State's an offensive team. Ohio State's an offensive team, because we've seen what they've done in the past. Ohio State has one of the best and one of the most talented, two separate things, defenses in the country. They are a really, really elitely talented defense. It is scary.
Penn State in this game didn't convert a third or a fourth down until 58 minutes into the game.
Oh, I didn't know all that. That's tough.
And they obviously didn't get into the end zone until 29 seconds left in the game.
Right.
Completely dominant effort by Ohio State. They thought they maybe got some. Penn State thought they got a little bit of. I they got a score from the defense until it was nullified by a holding penalty on Penn State, but they had a scoop and score for 60 yards that got called back, and that was like their only chance at scoring all day.
I didn't like that.
Dominant effort by Ohio State, and yeah, man, that I still think Michigan will win the game, but that's going to be a war that game between those two defenses.
All right, where are we going to go next? We want to go to this game at all?
I didn't see a ton of it.
Okay.
Because it was, yeah.
Talk about that in a minute.
We can. But we can talk briefly about this game, yeah. Auburn covered, like I said they would. I'm just kidding. I had Ole Miss by 10. I know. I had Ole Miss by 10. They win by what? 7?
7. Just another testament. This is going to get people going to get tired of hearing this, but it really is true that Jordan Hare is just different at night. I mean, like Jordan Hare is different in general, but like it did seem different at night. Like Ole Miss just couldn't get anything going. Just like there's nothing on paper that would suggest they could have hung with them at all, and they just couldn't get anything going. I thought Auburn did some things really well, especially defensively, that were really good. At times, like, I wanted to like make that audience, like, or that fan base scream in general. So they were so loud, right? So they wanted something that, like, I think that with the offense in particular. Oh boy, I'm gonna fumble here in the Sunday night game. On offense in particular, like, I bet those fans like all wanted to scream because it was awful. It was like, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing with Peyton Thorne and Robbie Ashford, and like it doesn't seem like that Hugh Freeze is a plan, and that is kind of concerning to me.
Quinshon Judkins finally gets going here in this game. 21 attempts for 124 yards and a touchdown. I kind of looking at Auburn the same way. Now, James Franklin has been at Penn State for a long time, so it's obviously a lot easier to say that Freeze, this will probably be the worst roster he has there.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you look down the box score at the receivers, it's like your leading receiver was your running back for 54 yards.
Good. They should have.
But who's Auburn's guy at receiver? Bear?
They don't have one. That's what I kept saying for the start of the year. There's no one there.
Yeah, there's nobody there. So 275 total yards of offense for Auburn. Just not going to get it done. But I mean, it almost did.
Yeah.
But that's a testament to the defense. I mean, at the end of the day, Ole Miss, what did they score late?
Yeah, they did. It was 28-14 late in the game, and Auburn scored late.
So, this is just one of those years for Ole Miss for Auburn where you just kind of have to grin and bear it because first year, there's not a ton of time when these coaches get hired before the early signing period, so you don't get to bring in a ton of true freshmen. So it might be the portal can change things obviously, but it might be a 2 or 3 year project for Freeze. On the other hand, Ole Miss keeps winning, man. They're kind of like the new UNC where like nobody really talks about them and they're in the top 10.
Okay, let's talk about something. All right, let's talk about some other stuff around the country that people that we don't have things for, but we need to talk about. Let's talk about UNC. UNC lost to Virginia.
God.
at home.
They were like 24.5-point favorites, I think, in that game.
They were 6.5-point favorites in the first quarter. I know that.
That's just an inexcusable loss. There's no way that you can, and they got like blown out, didn't they?
No, it's 31-27.
Okay, they were. Oh yeah, it was back and forth. That's right. But still, like, dude, Virginia is like one of the worst teams in not just the ACC, but like in the country.
Yeah, they got like trounced by Tennessee. They've lost bad to everybody.
Maybe there's a reason why we weren't talking about UNC, because this always happens.
Maybe.
This always happens to them, dude. Like they get off to this crazy start, and then it's like by the end of the season, it's like, oh, UNC lost 4 games in a row to finish again 9-4.
Right.
So I mean, this isn't one you had them losing 31-27 to Virginia. But you know, you got at Georgia Tech next week in Campbell, but then you finish the season with Duke, at Clemson, at NC State if you're UNC. So Campbell's, baby.
Now, all right, let's talk about another game. So when I tweeted out this thing about how let's stop confusing low-scoring games with bad football, I tweeted it out about the Ohio State-Penn State game. But Tyler, there was another game going on during this that I don't think we have anything for them at the bottom here. Arkansas, Mississippi State.
Oh my God. So Arkansas fired the O coordinator today.
All right, I'm going to talk about that for a second.
But dude, Pittman is on borrowed time, sir, and like
not good.
This coming from like, remember where they were? Was it just last year where they were like the darlings of the SEC, or was that 2 years ago? Either way, dude, Pittman is in real trouble, and between him and Beamer, man, those are the two of the most disappointing teams.
So we'll get to Beamer next because I have some stuff to say about that. But Arkansas, Mississippi State, what sucks is this. And I'm not like, it's a good win for Mississippi State, so let's give them credit. They're coming off a bye week. They were able to do it without Will Rogers. Mike Wright comes in. Jaquavian Marks had like some like weird fucking contraption on his. He had like a straight rod on his back hamstring and leg. It was very weird. If you watch him run off the field, he looked like a fucking Tennessee walking horse. He was just like, I hope we don't ever get that on camera again. So that was good for them. That was good for them. And you're right. I don't think he's on borrowed time, but like, I think that Arkansas needs to like commit to Sam Pittman. And I don't think they need to necessarily be like, all right, you know what? Like, it's the best way to phrase this. I don't think that Arkansas needs to look at this and be like, well, it sucks that we should accept being 8 wins every year. But I kind of feel like they should accept 8 wins every year. If you're telling Arkansas,
they've never won the SEC, right? So I mean, you can't really expect to win the SEC,
right? And like they've never won the SEC. They've been to the SEC championship game a couple of times. They've been in 95. I think it was 95. They went. Yeah, 95. They went. They got beat like 30-3. 2002, 2006. And they had 2 really good years back to back. Okay, so here's the thing, and we'll talk about Enos. I could have told Connor to avoid this shit because Dan Enos is a piece of shit. Dan Enos is a fucking piece of shit. I don't care how this sounds. He is. Dan Enos is a piece of shit.
He's a bad guy?
He's a bad person, in my opinion.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and not as bad as LSU now that Chris is here. Because, you know, LSU obviously hates the troops. We saw that last night after the way they beat down Army. But no, Dan Enos. So Connor gave him credit for like developing Jalen Hurts as the backup quarterback at Bama in 2018 for some reason. Because if you remember, Dan Enos is the one that came in and he got back from 2018 national championship game where Bama got boat raced by Clemson 44-16. There was a whole bunch of stuff going on before that game where Mike Loxley was the head coach at Maryland. He just got announced the head coach of Maryland. So he had like 1 foot out the door. Josh Gaddis was trying to take over the play calling, and Dan Enos was supposed to take over the play calling as well. So it was like back and forth, and they were just going to all 3 of them were going to split the play calling duties. So Gaddis leaves for Michigan. They get back to Tuscaloosa, and it's like a Sunday night or Monday night or whatever. The night before they're supposed to have their first new season, like first of the year, looking towards next year, putting the last year in the past, like let's start talking about like what we're gonna do. That first meeting, Dan Enos is nowhere to be found. And Saban's like, hey, somebody go check his office. Somebody goes down there and checks his office. All of his stuff is gone. This motherfucker left in the middle of the night, didn't say anything to anyone, just moved all of his shit out. Didn't say a word to anyone, and then went to Miami. I hope Dan Enos loses everything he ever coaches ever again. That is like, you gotta be such
Well, it's not gonna be for Arkansas.
No, it's not gonna be for Arkansas. But what he did to KJ Jefferson was absolutely criminal. It was. We're just kidding, Krista. No, he is a piece of shit though. I don't feel sorry for Arkansas necessarily because they hired him, because I feel like he was like the OC there before, and he's had some success in that position, and he's supposed to be a quarterback developer. But man, like you had a guy that was like back to back, the only SEC quarterback with a top 10 QBR passer rating in the country for 2 years in a row, top 10 nationally. And now you can't even get a 4th and 1 with a 6'2", 240-pound quarterback. What the fuck are you doing?
Mississippi State in this game, 19% havoc rate, which is in the 91st percentile. That's
I don't know
good.
what havoc rate is
Defensively.
Okay.
It means they ate up that O-line. I'm just shocked that Pittman has allowed the Arkansas O-line. I don't know if it's injuries. I don't know a ton about what's going on there, but just shocked that the O-line, especially under Pittman, is as bad as it is.
Yeah, agreed.
Speaking of LSU, since
no, hold on.
Huh? Yeah, I was gonna play. We actually got a voicemail from Krista.
Oh, I love it. Let's hear it.
Hey guys, it's Krista. I am calling post LSU Army game, and this one is just specifically to say, hey Marler, can't wait to hear next week when you say that LSU's got to line up against Bama and play 60 minutes of football. So can't wait to hear that one. But anyway, no, just appreciate everything y'all do, and go Tigers. Go Tigers!
I'll tell you right now, Krista, you're probably not going to hear that from me because I am nervous as shit, and I don't like our chances in that game. But we will get to it as next week. We're going to go into the bye week right now. Hell of a win for LSU against Army. What I loved most about that win was you could tell the amount of respect that Brian Kelly had told his players they were going to have for Army. There was no shit talking. There was nothing like that. They were beating the crap out of them from early in that game. And I thought they handled it with class, and that was something I thought was really important, especially in this day and age with our military academies and institutions, stuff like that.
Look at you.
I know.
All right, Missouri and South Carolina.
Bro, what the fuck?
South Carolina is down bad.
They're not good. And I tell you what, I've said this. I thought that Beamer did we talk about Beamer breaking his foot on the last episode? Okay.
We did.
I thought that Beamer was Sam Pittman, skinny Sam Pittman, that everyone would like him. And that how could you not like it? Has so quickly turned the opposite way, not in his favor, that I'm shocked. He's a bit of a bitch. He bitches about a lot of stuff.
He does. Dude, Missouri's good.
Missouri's good.
I was at a little gathering for work today, talking to a couple Georgia fans, and I said, I'm sure you're thankful that game is not in Columbia this year.
And they said
7-1.
I ain't worried about nothing.
7-1 now for Missouri. Luther Burden continues to cook. Brady Cook continues to cook. And Cody Schrader's back in a big way. 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. South Carolina, man, 12 points. They can't stop anything on defense.
Can't stop anything.
You think how long has he been there? This is 4th year or third?
This is 3rd year.
Is he gone after this year?
No. Fuck no. No. He's like, now again, I should have dove a little more into this. The thing with Arkansas with Pittman, get you a guy like Sam Pittman who is going to win you 8 games every year. Like, if you think that's mediocre, it's not. It's not. Because you know what mediocre is? Mediocre is spiking at 9, like you did in 2021, and then diving down at 2 for wins and losses. Because they did that in 2017, 2018 under Chad Morris. You have stability. You can have a guy that loves to fucking be there. He loves to be at this place. There's no reason to let him go. I'm tired of hearing about it. Now with Beamer,
They go on the road next week to A&M, so they'll be 2-7.
Oh, they're done. Yeah. Now Beamer's a little bit different because Beamer came in with this whole like brash attitude. They were like, what bothers me with Beamer is you like the wins that you get in the offseason, they have to roll over into the season. One of the biggest wins they got this offseason was 2 things: keeping Spencer Rattler and getting Nick Harbord, a 5-star freak athlete. And he hasn't been anywhere to be found. If he's not understanding the offense, spend extra time with him. Get him to understand the offense. If he's not understanding the offense still, cater the offense to him. Like not the whole offense, but like part of it. There's like, what are you struggling most with on this team? Offensive line, defensive line. So you have no time to get to the ball. Every time this kid touches the ball, you're like you've had a receiver out every game. It feels like this entire year, at least one. How do you not bring in a 5-star kid with that kind of like athletic pedigree and then just not give him the ball?
To be fair, he was the leading receiver in this game for South Carolina.
How many catches did he have?
2 catches.
For
2 catches for 50 yards.
He had 1 for 22. So he had 2 catches for 50 yards. Last week he had 1 for 45.
Seems like a big play guy.
Yeah.
Probably use that.
Probably.
They could only find him on their own roster. We touched on it briefly, but we don't have to talk about the game. But
No.
Clemson,
3 losses?
3 losses.
So bad.
Mathematically eliminated from the ACC championship game.
So they're done.
They're done. Dude, Dabo has. Did you see Dabo in the press conference afterwards?
No.
Someone asked him about if they had like a mental health person on staff that like helped with the kids. He laughed like that. He goes, "He's gonna be on suicide watch this week."
No, he did not.
I swear.
That's not real. That's not real. That's not real.
No, it is so real.
You're telling me right now, I've been so consumed with my hatred for Tennessee, I haven't seen a Dabo suicide watch comment.
He said the mental health therapist was going to be
Mother
on
of God, he really did say it. Front page of AL.com. Dabo Swinney apologizes for making suicide watch joke. Oh, that's incredible.
My God. Just unreal. I mean, they're gonna stop putting him out for press conferences.
Yeah, he's like Biden.
The man just can't get it right on the mic.
Just let him Roomba off the stage. That's what his name put it. Jesus, that's tough.
Oh man, that's all I have to say about the game. That's just a horrible loss for Clemson. I mean, once you found out Van Dyke wasn't even playing, the line went up, like jumped from 3.5 to 5 immediately.
Weren't they playing? Weren't they on the coming off a bye?
Yeah, coming off a bye at Miami, which there's no home crowd advantage. There's probably more Clemson fans there.
Yeah,
it's just an inexcusable loss.
Yeah.
Is that it? That's all the games?
Yeah, I'll do my top 5 coaches I want to replace Saban on my weekly video. That actually video went kind of crazy last week. It did really well. Had like 80,000 views, something like that on Twitter.
We did get quite a few calls from Georgia fans in the bye week. I'll play a couple.
Are you fucking serious? About what?
Marler, T Huck, how's it going, guys? First time caller. Hopefully not a last time caller. It's Coach Trill Bill. Longest voicemail I've ever heard in my life. But anyway, here we are. So you guys ready to talk about some spicy plays from Texas Pizza? Okay, sorry. Anyway, just wanted to say, as a Georgia fan, I saw the schedule at the beginning of the year, and typically Georgia always has a week off before Florida. but for some fucking reason, we had to play BYE this week, and we had another fucking slow start. So I don't know if I should blame Carson Beck, if I should blame Bobo, like all the other boomers out there in the stadium do, or who the hell is to blame for this. But we had another slow start. Granted, we got the win, 34-10 or whatever. But at the same time, BYE, who the hell is this? Now, we all know, BYU, it's, the people in Utah. So anyway, we know about them, but BYE, who the hell is BYE? And of course, Georgia has to have another slow start. Anyway, third quarter of the Bama game about to get underway. Hopefully it ends the way Marler Marler wants it to be. T Huck, hopefully my dogs, stop having a slow start. Maybe we can, your Knowles can bookend the college football playoff as, with the 4 teams. And hopefully we see you guys there. But man, another fucking slow start, this time against BYE. Fucking E. Like who is this team? Anyway, another slow start, but dogs by 90, I guess. Love the show. Hope you guys doing well. And yeah, fuck Florida. Bye.
What else we got? That was pretty good. That was good.
Marler, T Huck, it's your boy Boston Benny walking out of the casket flagging here down near Fenway. Right? Spent all day just fucking watching some college football and fucking drinking. And T Huck, I gotta say, your nose on the ropes with Duke. That's kind of fucking sad. But anyway, Boston Benny here, back at it again. On behalf of Lou fucking Holt, I got another message for Ryan fucking Day. You better be fucking grateful you play James stupid ass Franklin, because that stupid motherfucker can't fucking coach his ass out of a paper bag, out of a wet paper bag in the fucking Boston snow in 2018 when it was 100-something fucking inches. That motherfucker can't coach his way out of shit. Who the fuck calls this shit on 4th and fucking 4, right? Get a fucking real guy like Lou fucking Holtz. And also Pat McAfee, fuck him too. He's going to mimic Lou Holtz in a disrespectful man. Man, fuck him. Pat McAfee can't make a 27-yard fucking field goal in West Virginia against a shitty Pittsburgh team. That's on his ass. Fuck him. Also played for the Colts. By the way, 1-year anniversary since the Patriots fucked his ass up when he did that stupid-ass special team shit and let another motherfucker take the hit for him on that stupid fucking thing by Cuck Pagano. Anyway, going off on the rails here, guys. But I just got to say, on behalf of Lou fucking Holt, Ryan Day, fuck you. Still fucking mediocre in my opinion. You ain't going to be challenged until you meet Michigan. That's all this fucking is. Portnoy's Michigan's going to go up against them, and they're going to fuck them. That's all that is. That's all it's going to fucking be. Marler, good win against Tanner fucking suck, because those assholes deserved it. They just talked too much fucking shit, just like you said, before the Georgia game last year. They got their ass fucking kicked again. So, Marler, good job. T Huck, hopefully your nose pull it out against Duke. If you don't, you'll remember it forever because it's fucking Duke. And on behalf of Luke,
I'm crying. That was so much. That was so much. My cheeks actually hurt from laughing right now. Oh, man.
Yeah. The people in the chat love Boston Benny. It's almost done. We'll play it till the end.
And all the Irish motherfucking fans like my fucking self passing over. Hey, what up, Paulie? Yo, what up? I see you. It's my boy Paulie crossing over the bridge, going over the Mass Pike. Hey, going back to Kenmore Station, a little bit drunk, you know what I mean? But hey, here we go. So, fuck Ryan Day. On behalf of Lou fucking Holtz and everything we stand for as Irish fans, fuck Ryan Day. Lou Holtz is a god. You better fucking believe it, because Ryan Day, you still ain't got fucking rings compared to Lou fucking Holtz. Coach Holtz, love the man to death. Ryan Day, man, fuck you. Let's just see you again. We beat your ass on a neutral field. I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
September, who cares?
All right, that's enough.
It's okay.
Meet us in December on a neutral field. Fuck you, man. Let's get him. So, love you guys. Love the show. Even up here in Boston, hey, just represent Andover, Mass. That's all it is, baby. Hey, it's, 617, baby, all day.
That's unreal.
Boston Benny, everybody.
We need to get
unreal.
All right. Wow. My cheeks
my cheeks are hurting too.
Yeah, that is like. All right. Well, let's do our top 5. Let's think about everybody. It's been an hour. Appreciate everybody in the live show. It was a lot of fun. My God, there was a lot of F-bombs.
Yeah.
Me saying that.
I know. A lot of F-bombs.
Yeah.
We are uncensored after all. I hope I hope Sybil on the Facebook group isn't.
She was real mad.
That's the end of the show.
Top
As
five.
always, we really appreciate you all listening to the show. We really help us.
Top five.
I thought you were doing it for a separate video.
Yeah, that's for coaches.
Oh yeah, our top five. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, you go first. I went first last week.
We didn't even talk about this, so they're gonna drop a little bit. But Washington.
Yeah.
Washington.
Remember on the pod last week when I said I don't know who they play next week, but I'm going with the other team?
Yeah, you did. You did say that. All right. Number one for me. This pains me to say it, but I'm gonna say Michigan.
Yeah.
Been pretty dominant. Been like haven't played anybody, but very dominant. So I have Michigan. Number two, I'm gonna put Ohio State. The resume speaks for itself. Like I got so tired of hearing this yesterday from Georgia fans. Like they're not any good. They're playing mediocre ball. Bro, they played a top 10 team at home. They came in averaging 44 points per game, held them to 6. Went on the road and beat Notre Dame on the road. Like that's a very, very good resume. I got Ohio State at number 2. Number 3, I'm gonna put Florida State. Because I feel like they deserve it with the schedule or with the what do you call it? Number 4, I'm going to put who am I missing? Washington. Yeah. I'm gonna hope that last week was just kind of like an off week, and that's it. And number 5, Alabama. Now a huge win. Now hear me out here. No, I'm kidding. I got the Bama. Number 5, I'm gonna put Georgia. And the reason why, they haven't played anybody, but I think they're about to get to the point of the season where the lights shine brightest, and that's when they tend to be at their best. So, number 1, Michigan. 2, Ohio State. Number 3, I've got Florida State. Number 4, I've got Washington. And number 5, Georgia.
Mine's similar, but Michigan number 1. Got Ohio State 2. Florida State 3. Georgia 4. Washington 5.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So we appreciate everybody.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Don't forget, next week, got another big round of games, including the big Georgia-Florida game. So during, before, after, whatever you guys want to do, give us a call on the hotline, 770-674-8233. We know we're going to hear from the Florida resident.
Yeah.
We know we're going to hear from a lot of Georgia fans, too. So if you haven't called in yet, number is 770-674-8233. Don't forget to check out the videos and the clips from the show at Sat Down South on Twitter, at Saturday Down South on Instagram and TikTok, and Saturday Down South on YouTube. For Chris, I'm Tyler. Thanks for tuning in, and we will talk to you guys midweek.